Welcome to Around the Diamond. I'm Marvin Jackson, and you know what time it is. It happens every spring. No, not March Madness. It's time to take some BP and feel some grounders. It's baseball time, everyone. And joining me on Around the Diamond are two of the best in the area to talk about America's game. Switch hitting Jimmy Williams, and from ESPN 980, the Sports Fix, Thom Loverrro. It's great to have you both here.
Great to be here talking baseball.
All right, that's right.
Baseball.
It's that time of the year, and weather's getting good. Thom, you and I, we had a chance to go down to Vieira, Florida for spring training. You were there a few days after me.
Right.
But what are your thoughts on the Nationals and Dusty Baker at the helm now?
I'm very excited about Dusty as the manager. I mean, when I heard that he was being considered, I knew it was between him and Bud Black, but I mean, Dusty has just won. He's a winner. That's what he does. He takes teams that used to lose, like the Cincinnati Reds, and he turns them into winners. I've never heard a player say anything about Dusty Baker that was negative. And not just Dusty Baker the person, but Dusty Baker the baseball man. I think he has an air of confidence about him and presents an atmosphere of relaxation that is really going to benefit this Nationals team.
And something you told me about, he's not afraid to talk to writers like you.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age with so much media, you find a lot of these younger managers and newer guys like Matt Williams from last year, they're afraid to talk to the media. They're afraid of what they'll say. They're afraid of how it'll come out. Well, Dusty Baker, what he's done over his career, he doesn't have to apologize to anyone. He doesn't have to care what anyone thinks about what he says. And I think that helps doing this job because the media, like it or not, is a big part of being a baseball manager now.
What about you? What's your impression of Dusty so far?
Oh, I'm very impressed with Dusty, knowing his background and
You know a lot of his friends too, right?
and being in the Dodger organization back in the day. I know a lot of guys that knew Dusty personally, and I followed his career. I followed a lot of major league players' careers, and I know Dusty was one of the best out there. And I really think he's going to do well with 1,600 wins. I mean, wow, you got to. I'm expecting better chemistry this year, better baseball decisions. And the guy's just to play well for him.
You know, he's got Bryce Harper to manage, and he's saying that he's going to let Bryce be himself. He said he's a 23-year-old. He's going to let him be a 23-year-old.
Oh, I mean, Dusty knows how to manage talent. I'll never forget Davey Johnson, who is the best manager I ever saw. He was the first guy to ever use the word to let players express their talent. He understands that while it's a team sport, they're all individuals as well. And Bryce Harper has to be allowed to be Bryce Harper within the confines of the team. Dusty has managed guys like Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa. He knows how to manage those personalities.
Yeah, and then, of course, he's got the pitching staff. How do you think he'll interact with the new pitching staff? And he's got a new pitching coach, too.
Well, I'll jump on that one. With Mike Maddux coming in, that definitely should be a good thing going. Not taking anything away from the old pitching coach, and you got pocket aces in Scherzer and Strasburg, and I don't mind him pitching that third game because I think it's better. If he don't pitch the first game, he might as well pitch the third game because that's the home opener. And then you got the double R's. You got Ross and Rourke, and then you're going to fill it in with Gio.
And I saw something that he's putting Gio in between Strauss and Max. I mean, that's interesting. Instead of,
it is. I mean, it's certainly not.
That's something he would do, right?
Would be.
Yeah.
But let's remember about Gio. He can be frustrating because the walks are a problem. But he won 21 games a couple years ago. I mean, not many pitchers do that anymore in Major League Baseball.
Right. Yeah. And then, of course, he's got some new players on the team and new coaches. Let's talk about the first base coach, Davey Lopes, your buddy. You played with him in Double-A ball yourself.
I had a little bit of time with Davey Lopes in the Florida State League, and at that time he was a center fielder, and he could run. I mean, he could really run. Saw him steal a few bases before he left in the military, and the Dodgers converted him to a second baseman. But while he was there, We had fun together, and Bob Shaw was our manager, and he was one of those crazy guys, coaches, and I seen him really bear down on Davey Lopes on some things, you know, and on all of us really. So Davey, I didn't really think he was that good of. I mean, I didn't. When he went to second base, I said, "Can he play second base?" Because I only saw him play outfield, you know. But he turned out to be part of the Mod Squad for the Dodgers, you know, with Russell, Say, and himself, you know. Team. So they were the Mod Squad. They were the same infield for a long time with the Dodgers, and he stole a lot now what great man too, of Portuguese descent.
Yeah, he told me some things about that. Now, does that happen often where players change from a center fielder to a second baseman? Does that, when you were playing, did you see that often?
Well, I know they tried to change me from an outfielder to an infielder, and that was like a nightmare.
That was
if I could have played the infield, I probably could have made it. But off the top of my head, I can't think of some changes. Maybe before the show is over, I'll probably think of some guys that converted. I knew a lot of guys that played the infield and the outfield at the same time, but I can't remember about it being converted. Say even a pitcher to a hitter or vice versa, you know.
Thom, what do you think the impact will be with Davey Lopes as the new first base coach? Several players told me they like it because they want to steal more, they want to run more, they want to take an extra base, and they said that he may help them. What do you think?
Well, Jason Worth had Davey when Jason was in Philly, and Jason raves about him. Says he's the best first base coach that he ever had. You know, Jimmy's right. Davey was one of the premier base stealers of his time, and Dusty, not being afraid to take chances, is probably going to have this team running. And they've got some speed from Ben Revere, the new center fielder, to Bryce Harper, who's got some speed. You just want to keep him healthy. You don't want him getting hurt, stealing second.
That's true.
And Michael Taylor.
Yeah.
Michael Taylor. Michael Taylor is going to be a star. He's going to be a star player, and it's going to be hard for them to keep him off the field. Michael Taylor, I think, could be a 30-30 guy in the major leagues.
Yeah.
Worth is not a bad base runner himself.
Yes.
And I tell you who Lopes says he can't wait to work with, Trey Turner.
Oh,
he told me.
Yeah.
And Trey was out there doing some running. Well, look, we're going to take another break, guys, and we're going to come back and talk about the Nats, pitching, and key new players for this season. We'll be right back. So here's Dusty coming up. There's like a little thing with Dusty talking about his pitchers.
Looking arms, old, young, and in the middle. And there's some good bodies. You know, I mean, we have some big old stud pitchers, and we also have some couple Chihuahuas that throw the heck out the ball.